بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين. Second part of this chapter talks about the price analysis. Price analysis, it means we want to compare what is our price as an enterprise with our products and services to other competitors, to the benchmark companies, to the sector. So this is comparing between prices. If our prices are higher than the others, we need to have justifications. If we are similar like the others, we need to have justifications why the customer will purchase our commodity, not the others. If our price is higher, we need to have justifications why the price is higher. So what are the extra benefits that the customers will receive in comparison to the extra money he will pay? If our prices are lower than the others, we need also to have justifications. Are the customers would respect our commodity, or we will look at the cheaper priced commodities are lower in quality or value? If we have a simple example, Chinese cars are lower in price than the Korean cars. Still, the customers know that the value of the Korean cars is higher than the Chinese cars. No way to have Chinese cars prices are similar as the Korean cars or others. If the German cars are higher in price rather than Korean cars, so the German cars, they know that there are extra benefits, extra value, and the quality of these commodities are higher and respected from people, from the customers, rather than the Korean cars. In this topic today, we will talk about the relationship between the supply and the demand, what we mean by the supply and the demand. This is the supply and this is the demand. According to the quantity and the price, we have here the price of commodities, and here we have the quantities required or supplied. Here we have suppliers are providing more, so it's the buyer's market. Because we have lots of things here. On the other side, we have the seller's market. Here, because the prices are very high and the demand is very high. When the demand is very high, so the sellers are going to provide with higher prices to satisfy the demand. But here we have the supply is very high, so the buyers are taking the decisions whether to purchase from the supplier or the other, or who is going to give us perfect prices. Another issue we will talk in this topic, which is the market structure. The market structure, the market we are working in, the sector that we are serving in, consists of communities and suppliers and demand and market share, competition. We have strategies, we have operations. We need to better understand the market, better understand our customers, the competition in the market. What are the benefits? What are the things that we expect to find opportunities in the markets? A third thing, which is the economic conditions The economic as a whole has some kind of variables. What about the recession, or we're going to prosperity? What is the inflation rates, the unemployment rates, what we expect in the upcoming future? The economic conditions also has their impression in the price analysis. A third thing, which is the pricing strategies. Of the sellers. Each seller, supplier, has their own strategies. Some of them would like to build long-lasting relationship with us. Some of them would like to work with bigger organizations or with well-established organizations. They would like to work with national or international organizations. So we have they have their own strategies. We need to better understand their strategy. Let's go to the details in the book and see how these issues altogether reflects the price analysis in the cost reduction or the cost of production or of purchasing. The price analysis today, prices plays a critical role in taking decisions. And it's a primary force all the time to build the contracts with the suppliers. Supply and demand, usually, this gives the better understanding of how we can work in the market. Should we produce more as suppliers or consume more as customers? The relationship between the volume, the increasing number of commodities we need to produce or to consume, and the price of the commodities we will purchase or will buy, reflected in the supply arrow or curve, and we have the demand curve. They meet together in what we say it's the perfect quantity, perfect price for each commodity. And this side, we have the suppliers. Supply side is higher than the demand. So it's the buyer's market. Because multiple people are producing, plenty of commodities are available, prices could be going to be lowered, discounts or special offers are available. So the demand side, here are the master. They take the decisions whether to buy or not. On the other side, when we have the demand is very high, and limited amount of suppliers available in the market. So we call it the suppliers market because the suppliers, they take the decision about what are the perfect price to present for the consumers. So if I'm an organization working in this area, I will not make money. Maybe I could face some loss. If I'm an organization working in that area, it means the ocean is blue, no competition, demand is very high. Even if the competition is very high, the demand is very huge according to the competition. So we can still have our market share or we can sell with higher prices. The ocean here is red because everybody is providing, everybody is producing, and there is rarely ability to be better than the others and to sell, make some kind of huge profits. It's rarely that happens here in this area. So because of the supply and demand issue, you need to understand where is the equilibrium in each commodity. Is it happening or is not happening? We expect that the prices moves up and down according to the quantities supplied and the demand required. So suppliers all the time would like to meet the excess demand, to produce more with higher prices. So this is a critical issue for starting a business. If you see a commodity is very high priced in the market, it means low number of suppliers and low demand and low supply number of suppliers and low supply side. So you need to think about why not to produce this commodity here. If the price is very low, it means we have plenty of suppliers and no way to make good money in this area, on this market. So studying the supply and the demand in new commodities, this is a critical issue to better analyze your prices, analyze the price, and reach the right decision. That's what happens in the global competitiveness is something very complicated, because you want to study the supply and demand in countries that has multiple suppliers and multiple demand from multiple nationalities. So it's a very complicated issue. It needs some time of effort and staff and people who are proficient in this area. We will talk about the market structure. You need to understand the impact of the market on the price of your commodities. It's difficult to understand the factors inside the market. The environment inside the market, we have multiple variables. And these variables, when they combine together, they represent the competition that you are facing in the market. It's not easy to face competition in the survival issue or in the making money stage. If the market starts with the monopoly on the one side of the spectrum, it means very low number of suppliers. So you want to purchase in a monopoly market, so you will face a tough situation from the suppliers. Higher prices, sometimes quality is controlled by the suppliers. The contracts, it's for the benefit of the suppliers, because monopoly all the time, it's the market for the suppliers, not for the purchasers. Example here we have pharmaceutical industry. Yes, we have limited number of organizations that are producing and they create a new medicine. Still, if they create new medicine, they have the right to keep the secrets of this drug, and the rights is given to them by law for about 7 years. So still they are dominating the market, and they can sell their drugs with very high and extensive prices. On the other side of the spectrum, you can find the perfect competition. It means we have plenty of suppliers, plenty of commodities, no barriers to have new supplies in the market, to enter the market. Prices are available all the time and the quality is nearly the same. You can find what we are looking for easily in the market, and nearly the contracts nearly the same, because the prices and quality and delivery and services nearly all the same. So the model of the studying the market, in between the monopoly on one side, we have full competition on the other side, we have multiple stages and multiple situations from the supply side, from the consumer side. So the influence on the market puts its pressure on the contracts between us as purchasers and the suppliers. If you want to build a long-term relationship, you should perfectly understand what is the case in the market according to the competition and the monopoly of these goods. So competition is a stage that us as purchasers will be very happy, and we can control the cost. So usually try to find your commodities in full competition markets. If your local market faces monopoly, try to seek your commodities outside your borders. You'll find them cheaper, with good quality, with other nations. So this is what makes organizations move to the global side. This is a secret, or this is a best practice of some benchmarks that don't listen to the monopoly. They go beyond the market, the borders, in order to find cheaper goods and services with professional suppliers. Regarding the economic conditions, the market or the nation usually faces also, other than the supply and the demand and the monopoly, we say full competition, there are other variables. Altogether affect the supply side, affect the pricing conditions. And sometimes they are in favor for the seller, sometimes they are not in favor for the seller. When the economy is weak, demand is depressed, no demand. When the economy is strong, we have flourishing, we have money, the demand is high. So suppliers would like to go to the high demanded markets with good economies. And usually suppliers would like to avoid markets that are wide, small, narrow markets, and are not welcoming to start their branches in these areas. For example, when I visit some countries outside Gaza, for example, Egypt, and talk with some organizations or companies, most of them are not welcoming to open their branches in Gaza or to do business with Gaza, because they know the market is weak, the demand is low, and the purchasing power of customers is not that much. On the other side, if you talk about opening a branch or making some business in a Gulf country, Qatar or Saudi Arabia or United Arab Emirates, you will find everybody is happy and supporting the idea and try to have good relation with you, because they are moving their businesses to stronger markets with high purchasing powers of the customers. The macroeconomic issues has its influences on the cost of capital. So the rate of return that suppliers expect to have it on their investments all the time attracts them to the stronger economies, not weaker economies. The international purchase seeks for partnering with markets or economies that have flourishing and promising abilities. Think about the labor, think about the inflation, think about the currency, think about the purchasing power, think about the ability of the financial situation and stability of the people and the organizations in these economies. All of them, all these factors affect the demand and the supply, so it affects the whether or not to do business with these economies. And finally, we have the pricing strategy of the seller. Suppliers, they have different strategies according to their visions and missions. Some of them would seek for operations that makes their prices very low. Even in the same tract, they don't consider that much effort on the quality side. Lower prices usually accompanying with low quality commodities. Other suppliers build their strategies into having higher cost according to higher quality and promising with higher prices, and they would like to sell commodities with people who respect their quality and respect the valuable issues that they provide for the customers. The German companies, for example, they are providing customers with valuable, unique vehicles that has high prices. This is their strategy. Chinese companies, car companies on the other side, they provide customers with low-priced, low-quality products. Think about the services you can receive in airlines. Some people would like to purchase tickets in low-priced airlines and to make some kind of savings in the meals, savings in the services provided for the customers, regarding the packages, regarding the transportations for the airplanes. You can live with quality with some certain airplane companies, and you can live ordinary as any ordinary person with a low-priced service cut airlines companies. So you have alternatives. What budget do you have? The decision is yours. So some businesses would like to purchase relationship, contracts, build relationship, have contracts with the suppliers with some certain strategies. For example, organization that deals with wealthy organization, companies or big companies, very international, wide, well-known organization, usually have their stuff traveled by good airlines companies. Lufthansa, for example, or KLM, or the British Airways, the Gulf Airways. Other simple organizations would like to use the tickets of a low-priced airline companies or transportation companies. They tell them go by train, you can travel by train or travel by ordinary ship or travel by car, or sometimes you can travel by a low-priced Southwest Airlines company. This is a very cheap low-cost airline company in the States, for example. So what is the strategy of the organization meets the strategy of the supplier. They work together according to their strategies. It means looking for strategic partner as a supplier. You have quality is a strategic component, so you will choose supplier with quality component. If your low-cost issue is dominating your strategy, so you are looking for suppliers whose work is reflecting the control of cost and reduction of their prices. The clear picture for the prices comes in form of some simple questions, a dialogue that happens between the buyer and the seller. Does the seller have a long-term pricing strategy? And this long-term or short-term does have the responses to the short-term pressures. Is the seller price is a price leader in the market? Or can we have a better price if we make a better analysis for the alternatives of the suppliers? Is the seller try to build entry barriers to other competitors? I'm doing a business, I have some price limits, I don't have secrets of my technical work, nobody can enter my market easily, so I can still have higher prices than the others. This is what we mean by item number 3. Number 4, is the seller using cost-based pricing models? Is the seller analyzing cost very much in comparison to the market-based pricing models? We will talk about these models in the upcoming lectures. This is according to the seller's point of view. and the buyer's point of view. Usually strategies meet. You are analyzing cost according to the cost, analyzing the price according to the market. So it's the cost is the critical factor for taking decisions, or the market price, what happens in the market, is the critical role for what we say it's a pricing model. Economic conditions, suppliers, strategies, price analysis, supply and demand. We have multiple variables, factors, affecting the way of how we can analyze our price. We want to enter the market with commodities, services. I'm not alone in the market. There are other competitors. There is a benchmark. There is a sector. There are leaders in the markets. So is my price suitable than the others? Still, I should have my justifications if my price is higher, same, or lower than the others. I should be prepared enough with my price, but this starts very early by analyzing the cost. Building a will-based. This base allows you to face the higher competition in any sector today you are entering. With a business, it means actions and reactions. Expect that other competitors reducing their prices, and you are facing the problem of accompanying them by reducing your prices because you want to sell the market and meet the customer demand. We are thanking you very much for your careful understanding and following us. We wish you all the best and goodbye.